Restaurant Unstoppable. Inspire, empower, and transform the industry.
Yeah, there's a guy in South Carolina named Ashby Gray. I worked for this restaurant company, a small one in college, called Battleground Restaurant Groups and Trips. And I think he was an area director at the time, and he saw something in me. And there's nothing better than when somebody goes, I think that kid has talent.
Yes. Why is there nothing better?
Yeah, because it makes you feel important and valued, and like you are going to be someone. And there's so many insecurities in life, and a lot of people struggling internally, like with imposter syndrome. And he took me in, and he was like, I think you have a lot of potential. I'm going to shape a plan for you, and I think you can really grow. And he was very specific around it. And he was direct. I'm the kind of person where I don't like to sort of dance, and I don't need soft feedback. I want to know where I stand, and he was very, very honest with me. And his standards for running the business, he was meticulous. And
give me an example of what meticulous standards.
It was a line check in the kitchen, to the way we wrote schedules, to the way we were managing labor, to how the rib sauce was caramelized. His depth of knowledge on everything to make that restaurant successful. He had the discipline of a Navy SEAL or an Army Ranger. Nothing was going to stop him from making sure those standards were met. And even then, at the same time, he was very open to feedback. I think, look, here's a better way to cook the ribs, or here's a better way. We should be talking to our staff in this language, because all they really care about at this age is their schedule and not making money and their quality of life.
From day one, because you're not going to change it.
Yeah, and he was open to it. So I think from a leadership standpoint, he was intolerant to mediocrity, but he was open to feedback to make the business better. And those were two great values for me. And I think he valued quality of life at the same time. He wanted the restaurant to run well, but he also wanted me to have a good life. And here I was a young kid, and what an unbelievable gift at that age to be able to get some of those things sort of in my toolkit.
Yeah, and I think it's so important. And anytime I've been able to share a lot of origin stories, and there's definitely a theme or a commonality between, or just recognizing the power of a mentor, somebody saying, you're good at this. You have what it takes. You're talented. And I think it's so important that as owners and leaders, we reinforce people who, if they have it, let them know. We're not self-aware at 16, 17, 18 years old. We haven't developed that type of emotional intelligence yet, of self-awareness. We need people to make us self-aware, to reinforce. The universe gives you clues. Yeah. And these are clues of helping people be on path. This is so important. If you are working in the industry and you have young people who are good at this, let them know. You might change their life, Yeah,
for sure. I think whether you're introverted or extroverted, I can't be more effusive about mentorship, about really good mentorship. You need to find your rhythm. I think I was really good about, if I couldn't get access to somebody that I thought was really going to change my game, I would do anything I could to be at the end of the table listening and just sitting there quietly and trying to, that gal has it, and I want to know everything she says that comes out of her mouth. I'm going to write everything down, and I know I don't have a seat at the table, but I'm going to focus on the things because she's brilliant at what she does. Or if you do get access, be stubborn and be relentless. And I was like, wow, this person is somebody that I look up to so much. Why not just go ask him if I can have a little bit of time with him? And even today, in my role, an hour a day, 2 hours a day, I go have lunch with somebody that I want to learn something, or have a cup of coffee, or go for a walk.
Doing it right now.
Yeah, and I'm constantly looking for more info, more data, more ways to be successful, whether it applies to me or for the companies that I run or I'm a part of. I never stop there. So I think that for young people, walk up to somebody that you admire, and ask them, and you'd be very surprised how many people are willing to commit to you. Versus, I think a lot of people think mentorship's in a book, which it can be, or you have to have this program that's documented. Sitting down and having a cup of coffee with somebody is some of the best mentorship out there. And not to run on here, but I think that one of the things I learned later in life is to be looking for mentorship outside of just the restaurant space, is to go into other areas. If your superpowers are service, go look for service opportunities and mentorships in other businesses outside of the restaurant space. Or if you love design and engineering, Go study Tesla and all these IDEO and all these companies that are doing incredible things and find mentorship there. I think sometimes people that come up in our space think it's only within the four walls of the restaurant they're working on and those people that they're working with.
And I think that's a lot of the reason why our industry is behind.
Yeah,
because our head's always down working.
Yeah.
And the world around us has been evolving.
There's a great thing from Johnny Ive, who was the chief design officer at Apple. And he said, find inspiration everywhere. And I think it's something I live by every day is like at every opportunity, where it's in the coffee shop or an interaction like this, or at my kid's baseball game that I'm coaching, there's ideas everywhere and interesting people everywhere. And if you have your eyes open and your ears open, you can find a lot of things that can help you in life, especially that you can apply to business.
And that resonates with me. Back in 2012, when I was starting this podcast, or when I got the idea to start this podcast, I was trying to find a restaurant business podcast, and it didn't exist. And it's just an example of how this industry is kind of behind. But then I started listening to other entrepreneurs from different verticals and just being influenced to that. And then looking back at the restaurant industry, just thinking like, why aren't we doing this? Why aren't we sharing knowledge? Like the restaurant industry is the second largest industry in the world, but it's like, as far as like size, but as far as progress, I feel like we're like maybe 10 on the list, so looking to other industries to get that inspiration of what technology can do and where our like technological industries are, to get that influence, that how can we take that and apply it to what we're doing over here?
Yeah. I can imagine your listeners, and especially those coming up in the business that are new to the space, are like, when do you find the time to do that? And that is that, if I could give like a golden nugget right now, it's, you have to make the time. Back to my quote about it's what you do in the dark puts you in the light. Mm-hmm. Those that I've seen have gone to the top of this industry, and the top could be as a dishwasher or a CEO of a company or a founder of a business, whatever you want your top to be, are really, really selfish about finding a little bit of time to work on themselves every day. Mm-hmm. Whether it's reading a book, having a conversation, going and having an interaction with somebody that they don't know, but they're constantly working on themselves. And it's hard for restaurant managers in particular to go, I just worked a 12-hour shift, I'm short-staffed, I wash dishes, the pasta machine broke, and you want me to go read a book?
Yeah.
If you want to advance your career faster and have a bigger impact on your business and be full of pride, you need to find the time to work on yourself.